Bow time! Party time! Two notes. First of all, to the people who are having me do Osage horse bows and then the Osage style Great Basin bow, I need to complete my set of bows first. I'm kind of like a dog with a bone. I get on a project, gotta finish it, then I go on to the next one, which will be the commission bows, gotta finish them, and then go on to the next one. I'm kind of focused that way. So it won't be too much longer. I'll be getting started on the three commission Osage and sinew-backed bows. Two of them will be Cupid-shaped, 5-bend bows, and the other one is styled after a really beautiful Great Basin bow, recurves. But anyway, the next one is the mighty Yamaha here, and it's funny, you know. There's like the series like, hey, what's your name? You know, that one with the things screaming at each other. It's really kind of funny. Same kind of video over and over again. Different people do it. Well, it's the one talking about a Kickstarter, you know. Bikes don't have Kickstarters anymore. You have to kick it over like a man. Well, they don't make men anymore. It's kind of funny. No electric starter here, boy. And I'll tell you, the bikes that they're kicking over, the big two-strokes and stuff, try it on this one without using the compression release. I dare you to. Okay, so here we go. Fun with Rawhide. And I love it. There's nothing worse than a perfectly even colored rawhide skin. I love these. And for a while, Mike the Man Yancey, this is kind of humorous. Because whoever was preparing the rawhide for the strips he cuts out and then sells us was doing some kind of process, smoking him or something. So I was getting this series of very dark rawhide strips. Mike was like, sorry, John, all I have is dark rawhide strips. It's like, Mike, man, I love those dark rawhide strips. And whenever I would buy some, hey, Mike, do you have any more of those dark rawhide strips? But I like the mottling in this. And the edges really turned out cool. And you can see I kind of whipped it. I whipped it with sinew. I like that effect. So, Talisman turned out pretty darn good. Next up. This one turned out good too. And you can see the junction right there. And the mottling. And again, the sun, I don't know if you can see the but there is a ridge running down here. I wish I could see the screen on this, but the sun's in my eyes. That going from around to a triangular section. Pardon me. Still not 1,000% recovered, but feeling good. This is actually, if you go through the Boyer's traditional Boyer's Bibles, you will see a paddle bow, an actual real rendition of a native paddle bow that's rounded, that has an incredible transition to that. So I didn't make that up. Let's see here. The edges look pretty good. This one kind of crept in a little bit, but it'll be disguised by painting. This strip was plenty wide. This one was just, he did a good job cutting it. He custom cuts mine to 2.5 inches or a little more. But you know, that's not going to even show up that you can see a little bit of wood here. But this is what I do. I always do, it looks like a fingernail. This thing hanging over there. When I wrap that with the gauze, it cinches it down really good and the end doesn't creep up. So I'll just take, I should have actually gotten a wooden sanding block and not my rubber one, but this will work. Kind of sand that off. This is how I trim rawhide. I use a sanding block. But let's just pretend that that end came off. Again, I should have had a wooden sanding block. And then I'll take it. This is the next day. I did this about noon, so it's good enough. And just, I'm not trying to eliminate the overhang. I'm just trying to thin it a little bit to kind of grate it. And if I get it on the top surface, that's okay. Just kind of cleaning it off. And you notice it gets kind of that white stripe. But I will follow that up with hide glue along the edge, that white stripe will disappear. Right here where this bump is, I can sand it off. It's not bending there. I'll just kind of finish that just like that. Kind of grate it. Oh, it's a rabbit. We traded our raccoons, possums, deer, wolves. I actually walked into a wolf at Thornsworth Nature Preserve. Coyotes, except there are coyotes here, and a cougar. Bears. Traded those for rabbits here. They're kind of cute. I throw carrots out for them. But anyway, that's about all I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of smooth that down. And I am not concerned about when I heat up my glue pot. I'll use full strength hide glue for this. And then smear it on that. If I get it on the bare wood, whatever. I would rather get enough glue where I want glue than try to like make it super thin, super neat, because frankly the glue will darken the wood a little bit, and then when I follow this up after painting with the Helmsman Sparurethane varnish, you're not going to see, oh, there's glue on the edge there covered with Helmsman, and then Helmsman here. There's not going to be any change in color, so always use more hide glue. And when I was sizing this for the rawhide strips, believe me that I was not trying to get a neat line just where that rawhide is. It was just all over the sides. Better to have more hide glue where you don't need it than not enough hide glue where you need it. But yeah, this... Yes! I love rawhiding these bows. And I went to Hobby Lobby, my wife and I, yesterday or the day before, I don't know. It's hard to keep track when you got days off consecutive. And I bought some more paint. And again, native styling. You might think that if I was to do this, and I was to use some wild colors like turquoise, you know, and this, that, and the other thing, wow, that's just weird. You'd never see a native bow like that. But seriously, they love wild, pretty colors, just like I like wild, pretty colors. And if you look at pictures of the West Coast, again, tremendous artistry there. Paddle bows and also pyramid bows. You know, not all of them were paddle bows. They gravitated towards really wild colors, really striking, not muted whatsoever. I don't know, I'm giddy with happiness that my rawhide turned out well. If you want to see the process of it, YouTube, John Riggs, that's me. Rawhide backing a bow. I've got at least one decent video where I'm hunkered down in the living room, rawhide backing a bow, showing the entire process using hide glue. Well, I've yapped long enough. When I'm hanging out drinking my morning coffee, I listen to a lot of spooky stories. I love scary stories. I used to watch movies, you know, like The Shining and stuff like that at night when I lived alone at the preserve and then go for a night hike. Love it. But anyway, I might tell a few ghost stories, some personal ghost stories. Get into that in my next video. No promises. Thanks for watching, gang. Isn't this exciting?